When the guests in the mansion heard the sound of that woman's laugh, they didn't think much of it at first. Victoria Hayes had a loud laugh, the kind of laugh rich people use when they want others to notice them. But this time, her laugh wasn't just loud. It cut through the music. It silenced conversations. It made the whole room stare. And the reason she laughed? Because her maid, her quiet, respectful, hardworking maid, had brought her a small birthday gift. That moment, that single moment, would destroy Victoria's perfect image and expose something she never wanted anyone to know. The story begins earlier that day, when the mansion was filled with workers preparing for Victoria's grand birthday celebration. The older guests would be arriving, people who had known Victoria's family for decades, senators, bankers, old friends from her high school days, men with gray hair and women with pearls that had seen more life than Victoria ever could. These were people who believed in respect, in class, and the dignity of good manners. And somehow, Victoria always forgot that Dot Maria, the maid who kept the house running, worked quietly among them. She moved slowly and carefully, the way older viewers appreciate steady hands, thoughtful steps. She noticed everything others missed: a crooked candle, a dusty vase, a nervous server. She helped everyone without asking for praise. And that was the kind of woman she was. Dot in the pocket of her apron, she carried a small wrapped item. It wasn't expensive. It wasn't shiny. But Maria had spent hours working on it after her shift each night, sewing the loose beads together with shaky fingers. It was a bracelet, a simple bracelet with the soft colors of morning light blue, white, gold. But even simple things can carry stories, and this one carried more than Victoria could imagine. Dot as evening came. The mansion filled with guests who remembered the old days back when people valued kindness a little more than they do now. They shook Maria's hand. They smiled warmly at her. Some of the older women even asked how long she had worked for the family. But Victoria didn't see any of that. She only saw status, appearances, cameras. She walked around the party like she was the queen of the world, soaking in the compliments. Then came the moment everyone would talk about later. Maria approached Victoria with the small gift in her hand. She waited until Victoria finished laughing with her friends. She didn't want to interrupt. That's how she had been raised, with manners. She waited for her turn. But Victoria saw her and smirked, already assuming she knew what was coming. "What do you have there, Maria?" she said, loudly enough for everyone near the table to hear. "A little something for me?" Maria smiled gently and nodded. "Yes, ma'am. I made this for your birthday. I hope you like it." Victoria's friends leaned in, waiting for entertainment. Victoria took the small box and held it like she was picking up something from the trash. "You made it yourself?" she said. "Oh my, this should be interesting." She tore open the box and lifted the bracelet. Her laughter exploded across the room. "A bracelet? Out of beads?" she yelled. "Maria, do you think I'm a child? Do I look like someone who wears this?" Her friends joined in, laughing like it was the funniest thing they'd seen in years. Maria lowered her eyes. Not because she was ashamed, but because she didn't want Victoria to see the pain in them. She whispered, "It belonged to someone special. I fixed it for you because I thought." Victoria didn't let her finish. "Please, take it away. Or better yet, throw it out." The older guests looked uncomfortable. Even those who liked Victoria exchanged glances. Some raised their brows, because no matter how rich you become, there's something ugly about humiliating someone who serves you. Maria stepped back quietly. Her heart was heavy, but she didn't argue. She had seen worse in life. She knew sometimes the proudest people were the most broken. The music continued. But then something happened. Daniel Hayes, Victoria's husband, walked into the room with his phone in his hand and a cold anger in his eyes. Daniel was a calm man, respected by the older generation because he listened more than he spoke. So when he raised his voice, people paid attention. Everyone, he said. Before this party goes any further, I want you to watch something. The room grew quiet. Even Victoria looked nervous. Daniel tapped his phone, and a large living room screen lit up. An image appeared. Maria sitting in a small room, holding a little girl in her lap. A girl with bright eyes. A girl wearing the same bracelet Victoria had just mocked. The bracelet looked worn, but beautiful in a humble way. In the video, Maria spoke softly, her voice steady, comforting the child. This bracelet belonged to your mother, she said. She wore it every single day. I'm fixing it because Miss Victoria is always helping people. Maybe if she wears this, she will remember your mother's kindness. The room froze. Maria continued in the video. Your mother loved people. She believed kindness is more precious than diamonds. I hope Miss Victoria remembers that. The video ended. Silence followed. A deep, heavy silence. Victoria felt her skin go cold. The guests stared at her, not with admiration this time, but disappointment. The kind of disappointment older people feel when someone acts without decency. Daniel stepped forward. He wasn't shouting. His voice was calm. Calm in the way that makes people listen. Victoria, he said, this bracelet belonged to a woman who lost everything except her goodness. Our maid repaired it with her own hands. And you laughed at it. You laughed at her. In front of everyone. Victoria swallowed hard. I didn't know. Maria stepped forward, her voice quiet. Ma'am, you never asked. Victoria lowered her head. For the first time, her eyes softened, not because she cared about the bracelet, but because she realized how she had looked in front of people who valued humility. Daniel placed the bracelet in her hand. Wear it, he said. Victoria hesitated. Her expensive jewelry suddenly felt meaningless. She gently put the bracelet on her wrist. It didn't match her diamonds. It didn't need to. The guests watched her with mixed emotions, some approving, others shaking their heads, all understanding that something important had just happened. Maria tried to walk away, but Daniel stopped her. Maria, he said, you have served this house with dignity and honesty. Starting today, you are no longer the maid. You are the head of staff. Maria's eyes filled with tears, not because she wanted power, but because for once, someone saw her heart. Victoria watched all of this quietly. The room no longer adored her. The attention now belonged to the woman she had mocked. And the bracelet on her wrist, simple, imperfect, full of meaning, felt heavier than gold. Later that night, when everyone had left, Victoria sat alone. She touched the bracelet softly. For the first time in years, she remembered what her own grandmother once said. A kind heart is worth more than a full bank account. And somewhere in a small orphanage, a little girl slept peacefully, unaware that her mother's bracelet had finally reached the person who needed its message the most.